What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Space Jam Week here on Vover. Ben Cruz here, the head of sports programming at Vover, and this Friday, July 16th, 2021, Space Jam, A New Legacy, starring LeBron James, hits theaters and HBO Max, bringing the Space Jam universe back into our lives. The original Space Jam starring Michael Jordan hit theaters on November 15th, 1996, grossing over $250 million at the box office. To celebrate the newest addition to the Space Jam universe this Friday, we're celebrating Space Jam Week here at Vover by releasing 5 shows dedicated to the franchise, with the final episode of this series dropping on Friday, July 16th, the day Space Jam: A New Legacy hits theaters. Our first episode with Jeremy Loss dropped yesterday, talking the Looney Tunes relevance in 2021. You can find that episode wherever you get your podcasts, right here on the Vover Pop Culture feed. As a reminder on how these shows are going to work, similar to Fast and the Furious Week that we did at the end of June, we're not going to be doing a rewatch pod of the 96 film or anything like that. We're looking to answer 5 big picture questions about the Space Jam franchise as a whole, all in our typical short form format. So, crack open some Michael's secret stuff. It's time to stretch out for an improbable dunk while 5 Monstars hold on to you, and welcome our next guest to Space Jam Week here on Vover. He is a Vover regular and was last heard from Fast and the Furious Week, where he and I debated out if Tokyo Drift was really that bad. He is John Harris. John, welcome to Space Jam Week here on Vover.
Oh, man, I am so excited to be here. Thanks for having me back. It's good to see you, brother.
You too. What one great film franchise to another. So, John, prepare to improbably get sucked into a golf hole and help us answer the next big question we have lined up here on Space Jam Week. Did the Looney Tunes pick the right player at the time of the 96 film to help them face the Monstars? Now, let's preface this with, ultimately, yes, Michael Jordan was the star of the movie, and he needed to be in it, so they needed to pick him. But from a basketball standpoint, did the Looney Tunes just kind of cop out and go with Michael Jordan, or should they have looked at other players? Because I think that they should have at least considered. So I'm going to let you go first, though. Did the Looney Tunes make the right choice?
Okay, I think in the end, we know
Sure.
that they picked the right choice.
Right.
But I will agree that they could have done a little bit more research. Michael, at the time, may have been washed. We don't know.
We don't
He's out
know.
there dribbling baseballs in the middle of the field. And so I'm thinking, why not take a look at a Reggie Miller or a Shaq, a young Shaq?
So that's where I have a problem, right? Because I think they needed to consider Shaq first over Michael Jordan. Because to your point, when they take in Michael, he hasn't played basketball in months, right? Months, at least.
Not on television, at least.
Right. He's probably playing these secret underground games where he's just dominating. But we don't know that. I don't think the Looney Tunes have that camera feed where they live, right? So all they know is they have the Michael Jordan footage from his illustrious career up until that point, from his, from his rookie year until his first retirement. But if you're looking at, so I pulled up the 95 All-Star game roster because if you're looking at the timeline, this is probably around the time where they needed to play this game against the Monstars. On the east side, we have starters: Penny Hardaway, Reggie Miller, Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill, Shaq. Obviously, these are voted in by the fans. The West, Latrell Sprewell, Dan Marley, Charles Barkley, Sean Kemp, Hakeem Olajuwon. Now, for the sake of this argument, we are not allowed to say that they should have looked at Barkley, Larry Johnson, or Patrick Ewing because they had their powers stolen. So by the way this timeline is looking, those 3 are disqualified. Now,
fair.
They needed to look at Shaq. That was malpractice on Bugs' end, and like, how do you not look at Shaq? Because they know who they're facing, right? The Monstars are each like 9 feet tall. Even the guy who took Muggsy's powers was taller than all of them. He was probably at least 7 feet with handles. He was like early Kevin Durant. So how do you not look at Shaq at the very least, who could be an inside presence and battle potentially physically with the Monstars?
I think it's a huge oversight, right? Just in a quick research, I'm seeing that the 94-95 for Shaq, his season, was his second highest points per game average in his career. 29.3 points per game.
He was a monster. He was killing at this time.
He was shooting 60% from the field. I mean, this guy can't lose.
He was just at the rim. He was living at the rim. Physically, no one could handle him at this point, right? He's still really, really young. And
absolutely,
look, at the very least, you got to look at it from a physical standpoint, right? Mike is what, 6'6", Shaq 7'2". So from that standpoint, Bugs or whoever the hell is part of the Looney Tunes scouting department needed to at least pull some big bodies, right?
Right, exactly.
They were the Monstars were towering over the Looney Tunes. And how about this? If you want to go, if you're like, hey, Shaq, all brute, maybe not the most skilled. They needed Michael's skill to help them get over the hump. Why not look at Hakeem Olajuwon? One of the biggest, a big man, very, very skilled.
Incredibly skilled.
I think his game would have translated really, really nice. And look, I also think you and I play a lot of 2K, right? When you create your My Player, you want to be a wing. You want to be that 6'6" wing who can shoot, do it all.
You want to be able to shoot from downtown and dunk on people's heads.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's fine. Maybe they wanted that entertainment aspect and they had to go with the GOAT and they had to go 6'6".
You're not going to watch Shaq cross anybody over. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Or Hakeem. But okay, that's fine. Why not? Why aren't we looking at Penny Hardaway? Why aren't we looking at Grant Hill or Sean Kemp? I think
Scottie Pippen even.
Well,
current controversy, let's not talk about it.
Yeah, 95 Scottie Pippen was fire. 2021 Scottie Pippen, very questionable choices in his life.
He might get canceled soon.
Very, very soon. But I just, look, ultimately they won the game, and that's all that matters, right? In this game of life, it's wins and losses, and they won.
Sure.
I think it was just very much I felt like it's something my parents would do when they're like, hey, you have a game against the aliens. Who are you taking? I think today my parents would still say Michael Jordan because that's all they know. And I feel like, again, if you're the Looney Tunes squad and you're Bugs and your livelihood is at stake, I think you got to do more research than just say the guy who used to be really, really good. That's my biggest issue with this.
But see, used to be is that's a hard word. He's only been retired at this point, what, a year and a half?
Well, yeah, or so. But
I mean, how bad can you get in a year? You can't go from the greatest player on the planet to a scrub.
I mean, I don't know. Going from that, like, he wasn't even in game shape. He was in baseball shape, right? To be in NBA and basketball shape is a very, very different type of being in shape. And look, the jump shot probably never goes away, the basketball IQ, but like putting it together in a high stakes game like that, going from 0 to 100, I don't know, man. That seems really risky.
I mean, that's why his arm had to stretch because he couldn't jump that far anymore, right? He was jumping from the free throw line, couldn't make it anymore. Arm had to stretch to get there. Also
got fouled. It was an and one. It was a flagrant 2. Everyone should have been
at least.
So, look. No shade at MJ because he will always be the right choice. And look, again, they won. But for them
and it drove him back to the game of basketball.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, he figured, hey, if I can beat these aliens basically 1-on-5, I get another 3 championships.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the very least, they were a pedestal. Or I'm sorry, they were a stepping stone towards what was to come in MJ's second act of his career. But I don't know. I think, look, there was a big talent dip after MJ retired, and ultimately you got to go with the best. I just would have liked to see them at least have other options as opposed to
I
just
would have
falling back.
I would have loved to have seen a Reggie Miller drop a three on the Monstars and then give him the choke sign.
Yeah.
Or grab his balls at him.
Yeah. They might have murdered Reggie Miller in that point. But I mean, they didn't really call goaltending though in this game. So I don't know if Reggie's skill set was, I mean, he was coming off threes, coming off screens. He launches the three. That's probably going in. They swat it. The ref wasn't calling shit on the Monstars. They weren't calling fouls, goaltending, hanging on the rim.
Because wasn't the ref Marvin the Martian? Isn't he on the Tunes side?
He should have cooked.
Didn't he give us some help?
Yeah, he should have pulled some Tim Donaghy shit and just started calling some horrible things in favor of the Looney Tunes. But anyway, let us know, everyone, who you think from let's use the 95 All-Star Game squad as a baseline here. Let us know who you think could have been an option to play from a basketball standpoint, not a star standpoint. Don't come at me with MJ was the biggest star. I know. We know. He's still relevant today. But from a basketball standpoint,
from an active basketball standpoint.
From an active basketball standpoint in 1995, who would you have liked to see team up with Bugs, Daffy, Lola in the squad? John, thanks as always for hopping on Space Jam Week here, and we'll have you back on again soon.
Oh, Ben, it's great to be here. Thanks again for having me.
Vover.